Hello everyone and Happy New Year! Welcome to my first stream of 2024. Hello Exie! Exie is here right away, the new year. I hope you've been doing awesome over these past 2 weeks, Exie. How are you? Oh, thank you! Yay! Wow, 14 months, thank you so much! Yes, Happy New Year! To anybody who has not seen one of my streams before, my name is Denise Hutchins, and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. I'm doing something different this year. For the last, I'd say a couple of years, I've been doing a lot of, we'll call it like practice work or art challenges and stuff like that. But I was finding I had less and less time for what I call my main work, which is illustration work. And so I decided let's just combine live streaming and illustration work. So any illustration work that is, not boring, like research stuff, I'm not going to live stream that because you literally won't be able to, I'm not making anything. But when I am to the point of being able to draw and paint and all of the fun stuff, I'm going to be live streaming that instead of practices and challenges and stuff. So, I am actually at the exact point of starting the initial sketch for my Autumn Gryphon greeting card. Here is my sheet of thumbnail sketches. I worked out some different ideas. And I've been working on this off and on since last year, this particular one. I've done winter and I've done spring. So now I'm working on autumn. Oh, hello! Chibi City. I never knew how to pronounce your name. Oh, thank you so much for joining me for my Habinica party. So great to see you. How are you? Happy New Year. Oh, and I've been neglecting the Habinica party. Maybe that's why you came to see how I am. Did you come to check on me to make sure I'm still alive? I'm gonna finally post in there. It's been hard. It's been hard to keep up with everything. But the thumbnail that I decided to go with was this one for my Autumn Gryphon. I have not done in this series yet one with multiple griffins in it. The winter and spring one both have a single griffin. So I thought it would be nice to add a group, add an illustration to this greeting. It's a seasonal greeting card series. And so I'm going to be adding a group. And I've already made, you can't see it, but I've got my Photoshop little photo reference that I collaged together. Basically making this scene using the species of bird and, I just figured it out. What is it called? It's not a rat. It's not a mouse. They have a long nose. Oh man, why can't I remember? I was just talking about this to my sister. What is it called? Let me think. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not a rat. It has a long nose though. Anyway, a shrew. I saw the picture of it and then I remembered. Hamster. Oh, that would be a cute griffin. I have to make a griffin with a hamster once. That would be adorable. I had a hamster. No, I had like 3 hamsters. When I was in my early 20s. A shrew. So the front half is, I can't remember what, I don't know if you heard that. There's a big bang on the wall. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the bird in English. I can't remember in Japanese either. Wait! Haha! I have no notebook here. Oh, Chibi City also says me too. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. That seems to be the typical, the way it goes in our party, though. I think it's actually quite healthy that we all seem to go through cycles of yeah, I'm totally productive, I'm totally on top of things, and then we don't hear from that person for 2 months, and then they're back, and then, and then someone else goes missing. And so I think that it's actually showing that we're living real lives but the fact that we keep coming back, I think, is what makes our party so strong, why we've all stuck with it for so long. Okay, so I have what the name of, oh, yes, it's called enaga. The bird I'm using is called enaga. The English name is long-tailed tit. And this is specifically not just enaga because there's multiple little subspecies or whatever you'd call it. I don't know if it's subspecies, but the one from Hokkaido is especially cute. They just have this white, little round white face with two tiny beady little eyes and a little black beak that's the same size as the eyes, which is like beep, beep, beep. It's freaking adorable. And then for the shrew, it's the Azumi shrew. And they're about the same size. So I even wrote 12 centimeters long, including tail, which is perfect for the size of the enaga bird. So those are the animals coming together to become a griffin for me. And this is one last look at the thumbnail sketch. Something like this. Maybe not quite like this, but this overall idea of the main bird is coming into land, and this is going to be a greeting card. So this side will be the front half, and this side will be the back half. So it's going to be folded down the middle. Okay. Something else different I'm doing this year is streaming for 2 hours at a time. I think I can do it physically, but I'm probably going to need to take a break halfway through to stretch my back and, you know, use the bathroom and stuff. So just so you know, there'll probably be a little break each time. I'm going to sketch with my blue pencil. Oh, what is a griffin? Good question. A griffin is a mythological creature or a mythical creature. It's one of my faves, and I have my own idea about what they are in my head. And so it's the basic one is an eagle on the front half and a lion on the back half. And you'll see these all the time in Europe and stuff, and also and like in Greece. And I wonder if there's griffins in Egypt. I think there might be. I think they're also in the Middle East. So yeah, all around there. Lots of historical griffins. My griffins are more like the fantasy, or more like a fantasy creature. And these ones in particular, I'm trying to make them very naturalistic. So like, what if griffins existed in real life and were real animals? So you'll see, as I start sketching these, the front half of these creatures is going to be these little tiny enaga birds, and then the back half will be the Azumi shrew on the back with a long shrew tail and everything. So I don't know how long it will take me to sketch. It's been a long time since I've live streamed a main illustration before. I've done it historically, but not in a long time, not in many years. So yeah, I am obsessed with griffins. I first encountered them in a book series that I read in junior high school. And then unfortunately, I tried to read this series again as an adult, and I'm like, I don't like this at all. But that book was my gateway to griffins. Like, it blew my mind that there's more than dragons and unicorns in the worlds of fantasy. Like, all I had ever heard of is dragons and unicorns. And so the idea of griffins really stuck with me as something so different. The griffins that I'm also working on an illustrated novel, and it's an entire griffin world, and in this world the griffins are on top. So like in our world, humans are on top, but in this world the griffins are on top. And what kind of world is it when it's run by griffins? So yeah, I do all kinds of different griffin stuff. And my husband has gotten me several griffin plushies. So here's an example of what what a griffin might look like. So here's the little lion, and then it's got the eagle for its head. And I have a couple other griffin plushies. Right. What the heck? I'll grab one. A wolf is here too. Wolf, Happy New Year! Oh, thank you. Thank you. 6 months. Wow. Hantoshi. That's 6 months. Good job. Thank you so much for supporting me. Here's the other example of Gryphon. This is a very classic looking, well, if it was like a chibi, very classic looking Gryphon. So you might recognize this kind of thing. But yeah, they're in a lot of RPG video games too. And the other Gryphon plushie I have is one that's just like twice as big. The same thing, but twice as big. I guess I'll set this one right here for now. Oh, but don't fall. He wants to fall. Don't fall. Wait, I'll put you sideways there. Yep. I am starting 1 hour earlier this year to stream for 2 hours. So it's still 3 times a week, but 2 hours each time. And the first 2 days will be, so Wednesday, Thursday will be my main illustration work, and Friday will still be Chibi Friday, but just 2 hours of Chibi Friday, so. Yep. So I decided, since illustration work was really, it was hard to find the time as the year passed last year. I'm like, oh, I only made 2 main pieces and I would like to make more. So I realized streaming really helps me get stuff done. So I decided to combine my main work with the thing that, like, I can't find excuses to skip. Unless it's like a true, urgent situation kind of thing or something. Yay! Hi! So I'm just sketching this branch. I'll bring this thumbnail sketch back in here again. I'm going to have, so something super cute about the Enaga birds I learned is that after a breeding season, they come together in little groups. And the hypothesis for why they do that is to stay warm because they're so teeny tiny and they live in the very northernmost island. Or they live all over Japan, but the particular one I'm drawing lives up in Hokkaido. So the idea of having them all squishing together for warmth as the season goes from autumn to winter, because autumn is kind of all the seasons are transitory, but it feels like spring and autumn are particularly a change. Because summer and winter, once it's like summer forever and winter forever. At least that's how I feel. So these little birds, these little griffins, are going to be finding their group that they're going to stick with. So autumn is the time where they are making their preparations for winter. So I'm making them a branch to sit on. Okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks for stopping by for a second to ask what's going on. Yeah, I was hoping that by just starting earlier, it wouldn't be an issue for anyone, because I really do appreciate everyone who has been watching regularly. I didn't want to alienate anyone by changing it up, so instead of really changing the time, just expanding the time. Okay, so there's like all these, this is why I like photo reference images instead of just working directly from my imagination, because there's all these little tiny sticks growing off and they just look so organic and nice, and I think if I tried to draw this from imagination, I'd end up making it wouldn't look so natural. And I'm not really, this is not a exact copy of what I'm seeing either, but I'm just seeing, this branch is this thick and it's about this far away from this branch, which is a little thinner but has way more tiny branches coming off of it. That kind of thing really helps to have a reference image to look at. I'm also exaggerating the shapes a little bit, like with these curves here. I just think it looks good, so that's what I'm doing to it. I see this one can come back behind this branch. That's another thing that I often forget to do, if I'm just sketching for memory / imagination, the idea of layering, so having this branch going behind this branch. In fact, I think I'll curve it up a little bit more so it's not at a perfect intersection with this one. I'm going to erase a bit. I like these blue pencils because you don't need to erase too much, but if it's going to be confusing for me later, then I erase. And it erases pretty good. Okay. So now this one can come back behind here. And then, oh, I even like this. I've now made 2 branches here by accident, but I'm going to keep them. Yes. Nice. And then this one is growing off this one that's in the front. Okay, and there's still some teeny tiny branches growing off over here of this part of this one. And they just get smaller and smaller as they go down. Something I tried to avoid doing too much, I've almost done it here, is to draw, oh, you can barely see what I'm doing because it's in blue. I'll hold this up closer for you. I tried to avoid drawing something that goes directly into the corner. Because even if that might actually happen, say in a photograph, this is just barely off of the corner, but in an illustration it can be a little visually distracting. Like, regardless of whether it's naturalistic, it could just be distracting. Okay, so I've drawn a lot of branches going down. I'm going to now add some going up. And it's actually perfect because, so what I have for my reference image is just a picture of the Japanese maple, which is what I'm using for the tree they'll be in. And then I found a whole bunch of different pictures of the little enaga birds, and I just cut those out in Photoshop and boop, 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 set them along here. But it's actually got this perfect spot on the branch. So it's set completely different picture, but it's like, it looks like it's waiting for someone to land there. So right here, there's like no sticks, there's no leaves. So it's great because the bird that's flying in, the griffin, once I draw it, should look like it just belongs. That it just meant to be right there. So we'll fill this area with more branches coming off, and we'll eventually add some coming up from above too, so that they're not only coming off of this bigger branch. So draw some branches and I'll curve up, and that will help visually as well to guide the viewer to the area that I'd like them to focus on, having this curved branch. Well, I hope everyone's having a good 2024 so far. Did anybody make any New Year's resolutions? Or I don't do resolutions so much as I make goals for myself. I'm pretty sure my Habitica party mates have made them. I see the messages in Habitica from the app, and then I got so many, I was like, well, I'll check it later, and I swiped them all away. So maybe that'll be my goal tonight, is to actually, I've been using Habitica. I've been checking off my tasks, and I added new tasks for the goals that I set for myself and everything, but okay, I'm getting a lot of intersection right here, so I'm going to change this again, just like I did over here. I'm going to move this branch so that it's pointing up a little bit more. Oh, good, good. Oh, yeah. Jiva City. Tongue twister. I've never had to say your name out loud. Jiva City. Definitely goals. And Exy. Yes. Oh yeah, I saw that in the Discord. I think that's so nice because you're like set for goals. Because your project is so long. Yeah, I did same thing I did last year, which was use my planner. It has several categories for suggested goals to set. So I just did one for each category, plus a bonus goal, which, just like last year, I made it my reading goal. It'd be awesome if Exie was in our party. I don't know if Exie uses Habitica, though. Now I'm drawing some branches coming down from above. In the reference image, there's not any more of these thick ones. There's all just really super thin ones with leaves. And they're sort of just reaching down delicately, like little fingers, tendrils. And we'll have some that are really close together. And then we can have a little overlap. We'll have a branch coming in from the side here so that there's some overlap. Oh, really? Man, I've used Habitica for so long. It helps me so much. It has helped me. One of the things it helped me do was finally floss my teeth almost every day. That was such a hard thing. Such a hard habit to create. But now I kept using Habitica to encourage me and try different methods to get myself to floss and stuff. And now I don't floss every day, but I found that you don't actually need to floss every single day. You just need to floss almost every day, because my dental health has been spectacular ever since I started flossing almost every day. So you don't have, it's the perfectionism thing. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be good enough. Yeah, Habitica is really cool if you want to build new habits or keep track of things that you need to do regularly. I actually don't really use it for habits anymore. I use it more for tracking my, say like the chores I need to get done on a certain day, or like making sure that I pay my counselor on now Tuesdays, and when I pay my counselor on Tuesday, I have the Habitica task so that I don't forget. There's that kind of thing. And then it's super fun because it's like a game. It used to be called Habit RPG, so it was like a classic pixely, I mean, that's still the aesthetic, like a classic pixely RPG game. But they changed the name to Habitica because apparently it was confusing to people who wanted to gamify their tasks but weren't familiar with RPGs. And so I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Make it more accessible to more different people. Well, I know it's not very easy to see this blue right now, so I'm going to hold this up real quick. I'm going to show you the little... I don't, it's not that interesting anyway, yet. Not until I add the chief characters, right? I'm just building the environment. You gotta build the environment first, I've found, for what I like to create. And then you just place the characters within it. So there's a little close-up look at what I'm doing. Ooh, you know what? Maybe it'll help. I realize I can see the reflection right here. I left my middle light on in my room, and I don't usually do that. Maybe that will take a little bit of the direct light away. Maybe it's a little easier to see. Yep, gamifying your life. I used to actually, I'd make anything that I did that I didn't really want to do. I'd be like, I'm putting in a Habitica so that I get credit for it. That's the way I would think of it, as getting credit. But now I've got it nice and streamlined. It works really well for me now. I mean, it's always worked for me, but as my life has changed over the many, many years that I've used it, I've had to continually adapt to different circumstances and different goals. Like the way I used it when I was in school still is totally different from how I'm using it now. Okay, so I'm gonna add a few more little branches like in this area. Because it's not just gonna be branches, unlike the winter griffin, though I used a tree that doesn't lose its leaves, but this is autumn, so the leaves are in their most brilliant colors. So I don't need too many more of these little branches and twigs and things because I'll be adding tons and tons of lovely leaves next. I'm trying also not to make too many close intersections so that it's really, really busy. Because if it's too busy visually, it can become another distraction away from your main characters. So just trying to fill it in evenly so that it looks organic and believable as an environment, that it's just this natural, wildly growing tree doing whatever it wants. But also sort of tailoring it using visual language. Yeah, I think that might be good. So let's start adding some leaves. Some of these lovely, lovely autumn leaves. So let's see, this branch that I did in front here. Shall I leave it all the way in front? Yes, I think I shall. Because I think the logic, I don't think this is focused. There we go. I think the logic of the tree is that the branches that are farther out would have leaves because the leaves are there to gather the sunlight. So this branch will be on the inside, as I wasn't going to put any leaves on it. So we'll start putting leaves out here. And let's see. So I'm looking at my reference image. These leaves have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 fingers. One really long one, and then the ones. So it's like as they fan out, they get shorter and shorter, so that the 2 at the bottom are like tiny. Oh, Satoita is here too. Hello. Wow. We have so many people for the first stream of the year. Thank you for helping us shovel the snow today. Satoita is actually here with me, just in the other room. Helping with we got so much snow overnight. It's awesome. I love snow. And we had not gotten any decent snow that like stuck around. We got 2 days of snow in December and it like all melted by the next day each time. Which, as an inclement weather lover, was very disappointing to me. So, I'm really, really excited. When I woke up this morning, there was like 6 inches of snow. Although, shoveling it does suck, so I need help. I couldn't do it by myself. It was too much snow. Hopefully we can finish that snowman after live streaming. Yep, live stream and then go build a snowman. That's another thing that's great. It's the kind of snow that's good for a snowman. Okay, and then the little teeny tiny fingers off the back. Okay. I'm just gonna keep adding and adding. I think what I'll do is add a few single leaves here and there, and then I will add more, and the first ones that I add will be the ones that are closer to the viewer, and so the rest will be underneath like this. Yes, I think that's a good idea. The leaves also have this sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of bulbous. So it's not just a straight out. It's kind of roundy. My technical terms here. This leaf finger is roundy. No, I don't know how else to explain it. That kind of little detail, I love to include that in my work, so. Yes, and then these ones, so by the, let's say, the 4th and 5th finger, they start sticking out to the side, and then the final 6th and 7th one stick kind of backwards compared to the 1st finger. Nice thing about drawing any kind of plant, I mean, I don't know, maybe there's an exception to the rule, but any plant I've drawn, it's so forgiving. If you don't get the plant's anatomy quite right, it's totally fine. It looks like a plant, so it's really easy. Yay! I really like how that one turned out. This looks nice. Just adding the little veins that come out into the fingers. Alright, so let's say this one right here will be the closest one to the viewer on this side. These leaves also have jagged edges. So I'm going to try to remember to draw those for the final sketch. But for now I'm just getting the basic shape in there. And then if I remember, I will add that when we're transferring the sketch to the watercolor paper, because this will be watercolored, and for all of these so far, I've used watercolor, then use ink on top. I've been using colored ink, depending on which, to match the watercolor underneath. And then a little bit of digital additions in Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint. And then these little back ones. Some of these, maybe I'll add it on this one, even seem to have a little extra set of leaves, like it was going to keep growing. So I'll add them on this one. I'll show you what I mean. A little, I think it focused. No, maybe not. Maybe it did. Maybe it's struggling. Let me click the button. There we go. Just the little tiny bonus leaves. Some of these seem to have them. Oh, I think it focused, but I'll click the button just in case. Yay! Okay, now, I was gonna say downstairs, but what I mean is below this main branch that's cutting across the entire scene. There's plenty of leaves down here too. But these sticks are all, they're coming down and going out, and leaves are all coming out from that. So all of these branches and twigs and things are in front of the leaves. So that's just something I'm going to keep in mind as I start adding leaves down here. And I can see some, this is really helpful for me, that are at an angle. That's really good to introduce, because if they're all flat like this, it looks too mechanical. It doesn't look natural. So I'm actually going to use this one that I'm seeing at an angle. Almost has like a bowl-like shape, or like a hand that's like this. This one needs to be thicker. Call it the first finger, because it's the biggest one. It needs to be bigger. There. There. Yes. Yes. Let's see. Let's add some more. Well, let's see. They're so overlapping over here that it's really hard to even tell. It's something that's nice that I'll be able to do once I'm watercoloring. I don't need to draw every single leaf. Just have a few representative leaves, and then just like this area on the reference image, which I know you can't see, but it's so many leaves on top of each other that you can't even really pick out a leaf shape. So what I'll be able to do is just add like bunches of color and shape here using watercolor so that I don't have to draw each individual frond on each individual leaf. I'm adjusting how I drew this one. Yeah, I want these to stick out more. There, I like that better. Okay, so some representative leaves right here would be a good one. It's interesting. This is actually a lot less tedious than it usually is. I think it's thanks to live streaming. This part is one of the... Yeah, tedious is the perfect word. It's the most tedious part of an illustration is just this setup. The setup work of drawing. So it's a drawing part. It's not the research stage. That part is really fun. But this is when I'm just by myself and just drawing, and you know, I've got some music on or something, or maybe a show that I've seen a bunch of times before or something, but it can get really hard. Really hard to stay on topic and not get distracted by some other thing, like cleaning my studio, or you know, some other thing that I'm like, well, it needs done too. Though I guess I've also gotten really good at not procrastinating like that anymore, so that's probably another thing. Yeah, because you just want to get to the fun part. Well, and the fun part for me is most of it. But this is the part like... But what I was saying is I'm actually, like, I brought it up because I'm like, wow, normally I'm really having to summon my willpower to get through it, and it's not feeling like that this time. So it's only the first stream, and I already feel like it was a great idea to start live streaming my illustrations instead of doing other stuff and trying to do illustrations at separate times. I think this is good. I'm just going to keep adding leaves here and there until it seems like enough drawn leaves, and then let the paint do the rest when I get to that point. And this many leaves that I've, like full leaves that I've now done, is actually a great amount because I can start doing just partial leaves that are filling in areas or whatever, or it could be a smaller leaf. Just adding some variety now that I've got these representative classic shapes that most people I think would recognize as a maple leaf. And I definitely want to do some overlapping. Right here is a great place to do some overlapping because there's these two twigs and these two twigs. So we'll do another one over here. I'm trying to sketch so that I can remember which leaves are supposed to be on top of which. But I also like, with the fact that it's just a sketch, I can draw through the lines of other things if it helps me visualize the shape better. Oh. Oh, heck yeah. Now we have a term for it, so this is totally true. It helps me so much. That's so cool. Body doubling. Now that you mention it, I feel like I've heard it before in art, like how to make art a career kind of books. Because so many books recommend find some sort of studio where you can be working with other artists, or just a partnership or something, just for the fact of the motivation. Not even just for, like, you know, it's cheaper if you share rent for a studio or something like that. Wow! That's such a great term. Yeah, for ADHD too. For anything that... Because I don't have ADHD or anything like that, but I used to be so distractible, like anything, and I think it was just procrastination. And so, regardless of what the reason is, it really helps to have someone around. It's like, it could be even something I'm imagining. What if I had an art studio, because I just have a home studio. What if I had an art studio that I went to with other artists, and even if the other people were like doing sculpture or something completely different from what I do, I still think it would be helpful. Yeah. Yeah. Which I think it's probably, for anybody who's creating a career or just wanting to do a project that is necessarily self-motivated, having someone else also self-motivating and doing it together is very helpful. So the next thing, I've got this really nice group of leaves right here. I'm not going to do that over the whole picture, but I do think it's nice to have some somewhere, because it just adds to that sort of organic chaos. Something I don't have yet, though, is leaves coming down from out of the scene. They're all coming off of these twigs so far. So let's add some that are, you don't see the origin, you just see the leaf. Even though I've drawn so many leaves so far, occasionally I'm trying to look back at the reference image still, so that I don't start making it a super generic looking leaf. I want it to retain that, again, that organic nature, where even though it's like all the same shape of leaf, and yet each leaf is unique. Oh, I like this one, actually. I really like how that's like right in the, I didn't do it on purpose. I was like, here's a blank space, and I put it in there, but it feels like it's opening up. It's like pointing at the whole scene. Oh, you can't even really see because it's blue. There it is. Okay, so let's add some more. Let's have them coming in from the side, and I'm going to see if I can find any in the reference, but I want to do some that are really like turned on the side. It'll probably be, so I'm doing my hand as if my hand is the leaf. And right now they're all like just down like this mostly, or maybe up, or, you know, they're just doing this kind of action. But I want to do this. Have it growing out, or maybe growing up to the side like this. But just on this plane instead of only on this plane. So let's add one right here. This, I can't really see one that's like that though. So I'm going to just use my imagination. I've drawn so many that I feel confident using my imagination having a leaf coming out from the side. In fact, I think this would be even wider and shorter here. There. Since it's just a little background leaf, it doesn't have to be perfect either. I mean, nothing has to be perfect, but just some more different angles to really up the organic feeling of this scene. So maybe we'll have one growing out like this stick is growing out like this. So we'll have the leaf growing out like this. Do my best. Yeah, so it'll be like instead of just flat like this, it'll have the fingers of the leaf going back like this. Although, this one will probably just get covered up by the little griffins. But that's okay. They're the stars of this show, so the leaves don't mind. They know what their role is here. I think I would be able to see the points of this one. And this one I think will come out like that. Yup. And we'll do those little bonus leaves down at the bottom. Or not leaves, bonus points. Yeah, I think I put all this effort into this one. I think right here. Okay, so that I don't do that too much, real quick, I'm just going to add circles where these tiny little adorable griffins are going to be. And they're all going to be snuggled up close together. And I have 5 of them on this branch and then the one coming in on this side. One of them is going to be in the at the fold, but I think that's okay because I've noticed that when I've given these cards to people, because once I'm done I print them and I use them as like greeting cards, often people don't notice that the illustration continues on the back. So by having someone right here, right at the middle, there'll be like a little eye poking out that maybe it will cause the person to be like, huh? Because it would be weird. Like, if this is all it was, it would be really weird to have just like a little half of a head right there. So I think it could actually work in the favor of the card itself. So it doesn't really matter so much to the illustration, but to the card, the greeting card. There. Here's the 5 little, I can't really see it. there they are. 5 little circles just to represent the griffins so that I don't spend more time like I did here drawing stuff that will be covered up anyway. In fact, I'm just going to erase it so that it helps me with the viewing the overall image. And then maybe these little fingers right here will still stay though. Maybe. My eraser is so noisy. Okay. Alright, this is enough that I need to swipe it into the trash can, so give me a second. Get my swipey brush. And swipe the eraser shavings into the trash can. Yay! There, and I guess I could do, so let's see, these little birds here, well, they'll be griffins. I keep saying birds. I'm gonna draw griffins, but right now in the reference image, they are birds. Though I did cut the tails out of the image so that I wouldn't forget and accidentally just start drawing birds. I've done similar things before. Like, I remember once last year I made a wyvern griffin instead of a regular griffin because I forgot to add the front legs on. So I had back legs and I had wings. So it was like a wyvern. Okay, so actually, this area where I drew a whole bunch of leaves together is the main area where, let's say, the star griffin will be coming in. The wings are flapping down like this. In fact, the wings will probably cross over the fold here. But I'm drawing another circle here just to make space in my planning for the biggest griffin that's closest to the viewer. And actually, I think I'll do the same thing and erase just so I can visually plan the rest of the leaves without being distracted by these leaves that are not going to be part of the final drawing. Got my bigger kneaded eraser out for this big job. And then there's no eraser shavings with a kneaded eraser. I'm still keeping the leaves that are not within this circle because having the overlap is really nice for building a scene. Okay, so I'm just going to knead the kneaded eraser a little bit to distribute that stuff that I just erased and then put it back in the case. I won't close it though in case I need it again. Man, this is awesome. I had a blank page when we started and it hasn't even been an hour yet and it doesn't really show up that well, but this scene is bustling now. And I haven't even gotten the main characters on. Awesome! Yeah, I was putting this off so much. I was always like, I always had a great reason why something else that I needed to work on or whatever. This all year. I had this whole list of illustrations I was going to do. Oh, you know what? No, I want to draw the leaf further out than that because of how thick this stick right here is. But illustration was one thing I didn't miss unless we had at least one, like a true, urgent, it's definitely more important than live streaming kind of situation. And even then, the one time I'm thinking of, we were able to do like a little half stream. I was able to get home and hop on. So like with streaming has given me so much accountability. It's really nice. I have not yet reached the point where I feel like I've drawn enough leaves to be getting on with. I want more. I want more leaves still. Yeah, probably over here especially there's not really anything, and even though I'm using the reference image where there aren't any fully discernible leaves here, that doesn't mean that I have to do the same exact thing on my piece. Oh, the reference is just for reference. It's not, I'm not doing photorealistic something or anything. Alright, add a leaf there. Leaves here and there. Oh, let's add a little bit more. A little bit more of those leaves just coming in. Maybe at another different angle. Yeah, you just barely see the top 3 fingers of this leaf. think we need a little more overlap, so let's do one right here coming out from behind this leaf. When I'm doing stuff like this, I can really tell how much my illustration courses, and I guess some of the other art courses I took, but illustration especially, really helped me with learning how to self-critique, or things to think of, things to keep in mind while I'm drawing. So that maybe it's not as how can I say? The feedback I got in my illustration classes was always so awesome. I was always getting great ideas and stuff I didn't think about, and I was like, oh yeah, I will change it like that because that's so much better. I just didn't even cross my mind, kind of thing. I'm not really getting that as much now because I just kind of want to get on with it now and not be critiquing and editing, critiquing and editing, critiquing and editing. I just want to make stuff at this point. But going through that for the 3 years that I did those courses for my degree was totally worth it because those echoes still resound in my mind, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's not forget about layering, or let's not forget about grouping, or these various different things I learned about. Maybe a little leaf coming in right here. It'll have to be behind these twigs, but it's coming in from off the side in the corner. And this area is getting kind of blank, so let's do another one here. Another attempt at a side view, I think is what you could call it, a side view of the leaf. Yeah, we're getting really close to the amount of leaves that I would like to put in. Oh, Wolf is back! Hello, Wolf! Yay, you used the slidey in one. It's so fun that Twitch has that little auto animator thing. I'm so glad that the site just randomly pointed it out to me. I was like, wait, what? Cool. It's like, put those on there. Did you have a good day at work? I think you said that you were getting off of work before. Hope you did. Or if not, I hope that you're able to relax now and have a good time after work. What do you call that? A good rest? Good home time? Free time? Yeah, getting really close, really close to feeling satisfied about how many leaves I have. I think maybe I put a leaf on this twig coming down. Looks so sad with no leaf on it. Yeah. Oh, what was your puppy's name again? I mean, I don't know if she's still a puppy, but I call all puppies puppies. I call dogs puppies. Oh, has it been raining there a lot? Do you get a lot of rain in the winter? You know, you're a lot further south than me. We finally been getting the snow. I love the snow so much. I've been talking about it a lot, but I'm still so excited. I've got my curtains open over there, and I'm just looking at the beautiful snow, and there's a building behind our fence with a little chimney stack on it and everything. It's just so dreamy. Ari. Frisbee with Ari. At least that's what I assume you said, frisbee time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Wasn't sure if I should add more fronds to this leaf. No. There we go. It's a nice repetition right here, too. I'm just looking it over now, but I think I might be happy with the amount of leaves because, like I said, I'm going to use the watercolor to help with the effect of multiple leaves overlapping one another and the different colors of red that are caused simply by the light coming through either a single leaf or a leaf plus another leaf, which is a darker shade. And then there's also just different colors happening. Like some are a little more golden and some are more like a burgundy red. So I don't need to draw each individual leaf, and I feel like I'm pretty happy with the amount of busyness. It feels busy enough. I know I can't really see it on the video. Here's the close-up. I think is a little bit more visible. The whole point of the blue, I mean, for this one, I'm not really using it for that. But blue is used for sketching a lot because when you scan it, cameras and scanners and stuff can't pick it up very well. So it's easy to get rid of it for your digital, like final digital version or whatever. So that feature is why this is why it's cool, and also why it doesn't show up very well on the stream. I've had that happen before. Chance of snow and chance of less than 1 inch of snow, and people are hoarding supplies as if the apocalypse is coming. That reminds that happened once when I think I was in high school, and that happened, and it was like, it's gonna be Snowmageddon, it's the storm of the century. The news was using storm of the century, and so everybody is like clearing the shelves of bottled water and paper towels and all this stuff. Gross. I remember. Did I work at the grocery store? At the very least, my mom was working at the grocery store, and so we had like the first-hand view of like how everything was completely depleted. And then the so-called storm of the century didn't even hit us. Like, we didn't even get any snow or anything. That's funny. That's funny that still happens. I mean, it sucks that people are so afraid. I don't want people to be afraid. That's not funny, but I mean. Oh, Jiva City, thank you for joining me. Goodbye. I'll see you on Habitica. Hopefully I'll see you on another stream. Good luck at school. Don't work too hard. Only work hard enough to pass. I'm gonna put some chapstick on. Oh, it's been an hour. Yay! Okay, I wanted to make sure to give myself for doing these 2-hour streams. So I have chronic back pain, and I don't want to exacerbate it by doing this. So I am purposefully going to take a short break in the middle of the stream in order to just get up and walk around and stuff. And where's my little Be Right Back card? I don't see it. I need to make just a Be Right Back overlay thing, you know? Oh, here it is. Hee. Okay. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to take a little break. I'll just leave the video on and I'm going to mute my mic. So, I'll be back in like less than 5 minutes. I'm back! Yay! Oh, that was nice. Take a little break, do some stretches. Oh, Wolf understands. Yay! I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm not glad that you also have issues, but I'm glad that you understand. I still feel like there's such a big pressure to just destroy yourself in like doing something and do everything to the max, so that, and then I'm like, but then I can't keep doing it to the max because I'm ruined. So, yeah, doing things in a little bit every day or smaller chunks is works way better for me, because then I can keep going for way longer and get more done. Okay, so it's also nice, not just for physically but mentally, so that I could take a break from looking at this, because it always happens, and I know I'm not the only person this happens to. Looking at your picture, like, you're making progress on it, sure, but eventually it just sort of look like nothing, and you can't really see it anymore. It's kind of weird. So coming back, I wasn't even thinking about this, but that's another good reason to take a break, because I feel like I'm seeing this fresh, even though I was only gone for like 4 minutes. So yeah, I really do feel like I'm good with adding leaves. The rest will be added sort of impressionistically, maybe you could put it, with the watercolor. So let's start adding the cute little Enaga birds and turning them into griffins with this Azumi shrew. Do I want to start with this one, or I want to start with this one? Guess I'll start over here just because I'm left-handed, and so less likely. This blue pencil doesn't smudge too bad anyway, but just less likely to smudge any key lines. So I've got the bird. Found this great picture of the Enaga coming into land. So I just am going to have to move the back legs forward a bit and then add the shrew on. And I realized I started looking, so I can show you that my progression, these ones were drawn just from imagination, how I thought a griffin might land, or even a bird might land. And I was like, it doesn't feel right. And I started looking at reference, not just images, but videos of birds coming into land. And I realized that, here's one where I started to draw that the feet curve under, the body curves under to come into land. And so this is the one that I'm building here, the thumbnail sketch that I decided to go with. I need to remember to make the shrew body curving under to come into land, because surely the back feet would land first and then the front feet would lock the landing in, I guess. So looking at the bird flying, because of course these are just photos and then I've cut them out, so I have to use a lot of imagination of trying to find where I think the spine would be, or probably here, and then it would curve down here. And the tail, I don't think, because it's such a long tail, I don't think it would curve completely under, because the wind would still be pushing it back. So I think it would curve under with the spine, but then the farther the tail gets out, the more the air pressure is pushing it backwards. So it would be more like an S shape. So something like this. Yeah. So this is just the overall, so from the back down into the tail. And then the body is so nice. It's just like really just a little round fluffy body. No super specific anatomy or anything to worry about. It's just like feathery fluffy. But we're going to add the shrew legs in, so those will be reaching to land. So we'll have them kind of tucked up, but not down like this, with the claws up, ready to go shoop once it lands on the branch. And it's nice. The feet are really very much like rat feet. And I had 3 pet rats for about 5 years. So I'm quite familiar with adorable little rat feet. I really don't need more pets to take care of, but I've been thinking about how lovely rats were to take care of, and it would be so fun to take care of some more. But then I'm like, no, it's already so hard to take care of all the 2 dogs, a kitty, and 2 pigeons. I don't need more chores. All right. So I've got the basic foot in here. I'm going to change the toes a little bit. I think they would be kind of splayed too. So I don't have a jumping picture of the shrew. I just have, it's just sort of sitting on the ground. The shrew was very, very, very hard to find any reference images for. Aww. Yeah. That sucks. It sucks to have allergies to animals, because I found out that I have dog allergies, and I'm like, I'm not getting rid of my dogs. Sorry. I'll just be sniffly all the time. That's totally worth it to me. And I think unless I become so allergic that I'm like go into anaphylactic shock or whatever, I want to be a home to puppies who need a home. So guinea pigs are so cute too. Just like you said, I was just thinking about guinea pigs. They make the cutest little weet weet sounds. They're so cute. Oh, you're so lucky to be able to get those. My regular doctor last year sent me to a specialist because she was like, I don't like you're taking the over-the-counter nose steroids all the time. I'd like you to get allergy shots. And so I'm like, well, okay, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I go to the allergy doctor, and over the course of a month or 2, I do all these like tests. That's how I found I'm allergic to dogs. Try these different medications that were crazy expensive. And they didn't work any better than the over-the-counter stuff. And anyway, the crazy expensive medications were also steroids, so I wasn't even achieving the goal my regular doctor wanted me to achieve. And then finally, the specialist doctor said, your allergies aren't bad enough to get allergy shots. So I'm like, forget it then. I'm just going to take the steroid spray. You're so lucky that at least you can get that, because it's like... well, maybe, I don't know what it's like, but I feel like it would help take so many medications away and just have the one thing, if I could get it. Because I've got allergy eye drops, allergy nose spray, and then if it's really bad, then I'll take like Benadryl right before bed or something. Popcorning. What's popcorn? I feel like that's familiar. Popcorning. Speaking of allergies, I'm always so sniffly. All day long, I'm just a sniffly girl. Okay, so I think this actually might show up a lot better on the camera too, if it's like it's trying to focus. So I had drawn the foot kind of flat like it was in the reference, which I know you can't see, but it's kind of flat just because it's sitting on the ground. But I realized I want to spread the toes apart and make them reaching a little bit, because they're coming into land, so they should be like this instead of just like this. Oh, that's so cute. I'm gonna have to look up a video of that. I've only ever seen like people's pet guinea pigs that they bring to do at the fair. And then so it's just like a row of guinea pigs for show, like they're being shown. And so you just hear the little wee, or whatever they do. I've never seen popcorning. That seems freaking adorable. Okay, I've got a back leg in here, but I need to draw the rest of the body too. So the front legs, very small, like stick thin. Because these birds are tiny. What was the... Let me see. I think I wrote how much they weighed. Or maybe I only wrote how long they grew to be. And I'll go... Oh yeah. I wrote tiny at 15 centimeters long, including the tail. And they're called enaga because they look like the tail makes them look like a ladle. Like there's the cup of the ladle and then the long handle. And so their tail is so long. I'm getting really excited because I really feel like this is coming to be a scene just because I can see this foot in here. It's coming to life just with a single foot. Okay. It's really hard to tell exactly what the toes are doing. I think one of the toes got cut off of the reference picture. So let's see. I have to use my imagination a little bit. But as long as it looks like a believable griffin in the end, it doesn't matter too much. The middle talon is definitely way longer than... That seems to be the case with most birds, but it's definitely way longer than the other ones. Would it be down like this? Okay. I'm experimenting as I'm drawing this. I want the hand to angle up at the wrist. Now that I've drawn it the one way, I can see. Yeah, I want it up like this foot is. So that it's coming in like this and then hits the branch and goes whoop, like that. And the back, the thumb-like one, is ready to grip as well, like onto the branch. Okay, sweet. Okay. I'm gonna build the body a little bit more. The little shrew rump just sort of comes to an end here. Has a little bit of a bump on the back, like maybe it has to do with the fur covers up the legs really well, but it might have to do with the thighs, the way the thighs come in and the way the skin shifts. There. And tail's coming out like this. Little fuzzy shrew bottom. It doesn't have very long fur, but it's definitely covered with like a thick, plushy fur. And pointy tail. Oh, nice. It really is starting to get that nice sort of, not jumping, but it looks active. It has an active look. Okay, so we're getting there, and we need the wings now, I think. It's actually curving down over this hump that is the back of the bird. It sort of comes straight down like this. And then we've got one curve like this, and then another curve from around the other side like this. So I just made the overall shape, and then I'll add the feathers into this shape. I'll show you. It's almost like Dumbo's ear or something. So it's curving around and under. Although it's actually curving upwards more than I've done it there. So first feather I'm going to add is one that's curving up more. Finding reference images of this particular bird was very hard, so it's probably not going to have an accurate number of feathers, but considering this is a griffin and not the actual bird, I think it's fine. And the little feathers even coming out all the way back up here. Yeah, and they're on top starting from here, so I shall draw these and work my way down. Yep, most of that hand ended up getting covered up anyway. That's okay. It's better to draw the hand and not need it than to not draw the hand and be like, huh, something looks weird and you can't figure out what it is. Ooh, I like this. I like this overall shape. Here's how it's looking. Adding those the bigger feathers in. Oh, good. I think it really does look like it's coming into land. I hope that the idea will come across that this is closer, fairly closer to the viewer than these ones. It's like it's still supposed to be a fair distance away. But even if it doesn't, I am now learning by doing, so worst case scenario, I'll just know how I would draw it if I did it again. Okay. So I think the only other thing I'm missing here is the other wing. Because there won't be a tail because there won't be a bird style tail because it's this shrew tail. Yay, thank you. That's something else I've been trying to add into my illustrations more, is a little more action. For the longest time, my goal was more detail. And I think I've definitely achieved that. And once I achieved that, I realized, I want a little more something going on instead of so static and plain. So yay, I'm very happy to hear that. Specifically working on. And I feel like even for this illustration, it's appropriate because autumn to me is a time of action for nature because it's a time of preparation. And it's like this little group is meant to be coming together in preparation for winter. It's really hard to tell how many feathers I'm seeing. I think this is the last one on this wing though, right here. In fact, I think it should be sticking up more. And I've sort of got a tangent going on with this foot, which I don't want. A tangent is where you're drawing, has two lines that come to like a perfect intersection, but they're two separate things like this or something. And it's not for any reason other than that's how it happened. There, that's better. That's better. That's another thing I learned from illustration class, and it really is one of those things that it's like, yeah, maybe there's lots of tangents in nature, but when you're building an illustration, it looks so much better if you avoid that kind of thing. Now I'm just filling in the feathers just like with the other wing. Once again, not really counting them though, just going for the overall effect rather than anatomical correctness. 'Cause it's a griffin. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Yeah, sweet. Sweet! Dude, this is so exciting. I still have half an hour to go, and I have done so much. So something I want to do before I move on to this Griffin's companions here is erase some of the things that I'm seeing within this Griffin, because it's just, so much is going on that I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm looking at, and I'm trying to make sure that it looks all right with this like sort of hump right here. Like, I don't think you'd be able to see the head, because I think it would be right here, but I want to make sure by erasing away some of these extra lines that I'm not going to be using in the final sketch, and then that way I can more easily see. Get an idea of what the final look will be. So let's see, right here, the wing comes up right here. Even this claw, I'll erase this claw too. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Maybe I'll just do a little bit of a little hump right here between where the wing starts and the body starts. So that maybe that helps show that the head is there, but it's just here. Hopefully that's how that works. I'm just redrawing these feathers that I erased. There's a few that I never drew that I do want to include. Yeah, you can just see the bottom claw sticking out here. I wonder if I even need it, because it's kind of a distraction. Just have the one little claw. Let me try it without. See what it looks like without even any front foot at all. Redraw the feathers. Yeah, I think the only thing that I'll do is I'm going to change this other feather again, because it's still acting like a tangent, even though it's not perfectly meeting edge to edge anymore, but it's still sort of taking away from being able to read this area as a foot. So in fact, I'll take a little artistic liberty and move that feather way the heck up here so that it's not even touching. So it's not even touching that foot anymore. But it still has the same shape and overall movement, direction of movement as the rest of these feathers, so that hopefully it looks more... Oh, maybe if I draw it. Maybe if I... I'm just drawing and experimenting. This is standard practice for me. I draw a thing and I'm like, oh, that'll be a good idea, and then I see it and I'm like, didn't work the way I thought. maybe the next... that's what I'll do. Oh, if you heard a little yawn, that was Aoife. My big dog Aoife, she just did a little yawn. Yeah, I think I'll do it like that. There, that's better. Okay. I'm going to change the angle of the back here. So it's a little flat, and I think it'll look better if it's more rounded. Especially when I'm looking at my reference of the bird. It's just like a perfectly round ball, almost. And we'll even have some feathers sticking up to show how the head is leaning forward. I have the feathers sticking up. Oh yeah, and this area across the back where the I found that most birds seem to have this configuration that I noticed on the pigeons where the wings come together on the back. There's a little V of feathers in between, so I just drew that there. So hopefully that helps a little bit more. I don't want it to look like a decapitated griffin or something. But the way that it's curving really does seem like the head should not be visible. I'm gonna see, what does it look like if I add the other foot in? I was imagining the other foot wouldn't be visible, but I'm thinking now maybe it should be. Yeah, I kind of like that. Hey, Aoife. Aoife got up. She's like, it's time to leave. We're never in here for this long with the door closed. Don't worry, girl. We got 23 more minutes and then we'll go out. Or if she scratches on the door, then I'll let her out sooner. Whatever she wants to do. Yeah, she went back to her bed. Okay. I'm adding a little bit more detail to the fur around the legs. So I do like how this leg looks right now, but I'll be able to come back to this before it's finalized. So I definitely don't have enough time to completely finalize this drawing. And I'll see what I think then after a day off when we come back tomorrow for tomorrow's stream. I think for now I will leave this main griffin alone and start drawing these adorable little squishy babies on the tree. Okay, XD, thank you so much for joining me. Yay! Good night, sweet dreams. Yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow too. Yay! Yeah, this is definitely the longest stream you've ever been with me. This is the longest stream I've done in a long, long time. Yay! The bye-bye one. Got to go. Bye! I don't know which way to wave. I want to wave this way because that's the way that the emote is waving like this. Okay, for these little cute babies, I keep calling them babies because they're just so cute. I drew these circles, but the circles are encompassing their entire body. So I'm going to draw a little tinier circle to be the face. And then a round body, just kind of straight down from the beak, actually. And then fluffy, fluffy, fluffy body. And the wings folded up because all of these ones are landed. Not landed as in they own land, but landed as in they have landed and are in the state of being landed. So the little feathers are all stacked on top of each other. And fluffy, fluffy backs. And then the little tiny eyes, so cute. They're like chibis. It's because I read a lot of old books. they have words like that in them. I'm like, oh yeah, there's this other meaning. I mean, who knows? In their society, they might be landed. They have their own little trees and stuff that's theirs. Oh, it's so cute. I love these little birds so much. I actually have, I'll bring it over real quick to show. I first learned of these birds not for this drawing, but when I was in Japan last year, when we were visiting Hakodate, which is in Hokkaido, got this cute plushy version. This is the plushy version of the, I can't remember if it's called Ezo Enaga or something, but there it is. I have a plushie one. I have a plushie of these little birds. Here's the little sketch so far. Oh, it doesn't want to focus. It's because it struggles with the blue. There. Now I'm at the point where I need to add the shrew half onto the back. And so we'll show a little bit of the front talons grabbing here. But these birds are trying to stay warm huddling together, so they'll probably keep their feet all tucked in too. And their wing. And then the shrew part will also be grabbing, so this will also be curved just like this one, because the shrew part will be grabbing. And then the little shrew booty is hanging off, and the tails are going to be hanging off. That's something I really liked in my thumbnail sketches, the tails hanging off this way and that. Let me make sure that focused. I think it did. Sometimes it focuses on its own, and other times it doesn't, and I don't check, and so I'm just trying to make sure to check if I think about it, if it auto-focused back to where I want it. So yeah, this one is about, oh, I don't know. It's hard to measure because I don't have a string right now. I'm looking around. No string, but I want to make sure to make it the same length. So I guess what I'm seeing is it's about the same length as the body. So if this is, so I think that's probably the right length of tail. Of course, just like any animal, they'll have natural variations in size and stuff, so it's fine. Oh, there's one. There's one. One little Autumn Gryphon. It's so cute. It's a very plump griffin. Okay. So this was the only reference image that I have facing completely away. The rest are facing forward, but some are looking this way and that way. So I think this is actually going to be the only one with its little booty hanging over on this side too. Other than this one, when it lands. Okay, same thing. A little circle for the head. And the rest of the body is coming off of that. And we'll see the little front feet gripping. Man, all those Inktober's drawing griffins last year is really helpful. As I imagined it would be. But I can really easily draw from imagination a believable bird talon. This one is looking off in the same same decoration, same direction as this one, but it's facing forward. Yeah, very fluffy. Beautiful little round heads. Just a little tiny indication of the wings because of the way it's turned around. Super fluffy. And there should be some toes from the back showing. There, so many toes. Many, many toes. Excellent. These birds are so round and cute and so easy to draw because of it. Very simple, just freaking adorable faces like this kind. And it seems like Hokkaido has a lot of adorable little animals because the griffin half, the mammal half of the griffin I made for spring was another Hokkaido animal. It was a flying squirrel. What was it called? Momonga. It was called Momonga, and just like the cutest thing you've ever seen. Like, this shouldn't be real. How is this reality? These birds are the same way. They're just so cute. Just so cute. Can't stand it. Oh, look at this. Look at the little faces. Come on, camera, you can do it. Yeah. Oh, so cute. I love cute stuff. I mean, I have a whole stream that's dedicated to drawing a cute thing, so it makes sense. Okay, same thing here. You can just barely see the indication of... Well, it's not just the wings. Like, the whole back has this color on it. And the rest of the body is white. Very, very fluffy. So fluffy. Fluffy but smooth. The feathers are quite smooth. And they're all puffed up to keep the warm in, but it makes them look like little chubby, I don't know, little chubby babies. That's why I keep calling them babies. That's what they look like. Little chubby babies. And once again, we're going to have little claws poking out. This one will have... It's gripping a little farther along on its front feet so that the fingers are hanging out more. And then some little indication of the back toes gripping. over here. Oh, something that I could add though. You can still see the tail, even if you're not seeing the back half of the griffin on these. So I'll use this sort of line here as an indication of the spine should be coming down, but it would curve this way, and so I think the tail will come out like this. Wow, I've been streaming for so long, I only just now need a drink of water. With 10 minutes to go. Alright, so we got this one's tail. And this one's straight, almost straight onto the viewer. So probably, maybe even we would see a little bit. Considering how round and fluffy this one is, see a little bit of that shrew booty and the tail coming out from it. I'll make this tail curve a little bit too. Actually, I want to draw one little finger on this side. I'm looking at this one again. I want to have the fingers gripping a little bit differently. Ooh, in fact, it would be facing the other way because it would be the opposite facing talon for gripping like this. Yes. Yes, so there it's really showing how it's grabbing on to this branch. Wonderful. Okay, next one. It'll be obscured a little bit by the wing. So I might actually change. In my reference image, I have one that's looking at this one. This bird is looking at this bird, but its face would be covered up by this wingtip right here, the way the drawing has ended up. So I think I'll change where the head is, just so that it doesn't get obscured. I'll have it sort of up, and instead of looking at its buddy here, looking at this griffin coming into land. Fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. That's the claws coming out to grip the branch. I'll say this one is gripping a little farther on the back of the branch, of the branch. So then we see a little bit more of the back half, and maybe even a little bit of the heels of the back feet. And I think that that would mean that the tail is one of the most curved ones of this group. this nice little dark patch of feathers here. Well, let's even say we'd be able to see some of the feathers from the wings on this one because it's going to be hanging farther down on the branch than everybody else. Nice. Now, this little buddy is going to be our indication for when this is folded as a greeting card. We'll see this little face here, and hopefully that will help the person receiving the greeting card realize, why would only half a face be over here? And then turn it over and see, oh, look at all these other griffins on here. Hopefully, that's my idea anyway. I don't know if it'll actually work. Oh, only 5 minutes left. Can I add this last griffin in only 5 minutes? So I'm also going to be changing the placement of the head for this one because right now in the reference image it is right here. Again, completely obscured. So let's just do a cute one. Let's do one that's like on looking, for some reason looking out on the side. So this is definitely more from imagination than from what I'm seeing in the reference images. It'll be like this. This one found something interesting to look at underneath this incoming griffin or something. Like peekaboo. It's really nice with these fluffy birds. They're covering up. There's not that much to draw. It's just a big fluff ball. So it's very easy. So I'm going to draw the body covering up the branch some too, and its own front feet because of the way it's leaning over to take a peek at whatever. And we'll say the tail, because of the way the angle is, the tail's probably going to be coming out way over here. Yay! It's looking good. Okay, I'm gonna get a smaller. There's only a few minutes left. I'm gonna get a smaller eraser. And just do a little cleanup work for stuff that is going to be obscured by things that were now drawn on top of it. So this griffin is obscuring these leaves and twigs. And then this way, having it cleaned up now, when I come back to it tomorrow, I'll have a nice fresh view. To be honest, right now, I feel like I'll be ready to transfer it to the watercolor paper tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow with some fresh eyes. And some of these, the tails will be excused. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The tails are going to be covered up by the twigs, like right here. And the tail is actually behind, not the twig. Excused. What am I trying to say? So obscured, I think, is what I was trying to say. They both have a sound in it. Excured. They will be excured. Okay. Making up new words. Aoife just kicked my trash can. That's what that little scraping sound was. This will be behind, though. These leaves will be growing out behind the griffins. It's another good reason to erase, so that when I'm copying these over, I don't accidentally copy different objects the wrong way around, or the wrong objects in front or in back. Oh, I think that turned out so cute with that one peeking over to the side. That was totally unplanned. Oh, but we're at time. Oh, wow. 2-hour stream gone in a flash. So I'm working on a main project. Okay, I'll do a real quick close-up view. Holy crap. This was empty. This page was empty when we started. Oh, we got a branch in there. Lots of little twigs, leaves. 5 little landed griffins and a landing griffin. And it should be easier to see tomorrow because even if I do have a little bit more work to do in this blue pencil, I will definitely be able to move on to defining the lines with my red pencil. And then moving on, taking those lines and transferring them onto watercolor paper. It should be much more easy to see on the stream. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm so excited for this year. I think this is going to work out so great. And I'll be able to make more of my, I keep saying it, but my main work, what I really, really want to make. So, yay! I'm so excited. All right, but I will let everybody go. We're 1 minute over now. 2 hours, I can't believe it went by in a flash. Okay, so I will be back tomorrow. We will just be resuming work on this image. So I hope to see you then. Either way, thank you so much for joining me for my first live stream of 2024. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.